Hey guys, it's Smudge here, and we're back in iRacing yet again. Now, this time we're on a different track, oval racing again, but this time at the USA International Speedway. Now, this is a lot different to Charlotte, the other track that we raced on. Charlotte is just a case of put a brick on the accelerator and turn left and drive as fast as humanly possible. Now, this track, it's a much tighter oval, it's got much shorter straights followed by much tighter corners. So it's a case of finding a good line into a corner, braking easy on the way in, getting the speed down, getting tight through the corner, and then getting on the gas nice and easy on the way out. So early, you know, kind of rolling on the throttle, keeping the car nice and smooth, and you power out of the corner and get as much speed as you can before you're braking into the next corner. So it's a lot more complex, and it takes a lot more to drive it. So we're just behind the pace car here, and kind of weaving our way out. Now, you know, as you're about to see at the start here, we'll manage to get off the line okay. But one thing with these cars is that the tyres are incredibly hard to kind of warm up within the first couple of laps. It does take a little while for the tyres to warm up, and I do make a little bit of a boo-boo coming off. I think it's like the third or fourth corner on the first or second lap, can't quite remember anyway, but coming off the corner I clapped the wall a little bit. So here we go, we're just pace car's gone in and I'm literally flooring it here, just kind of racing ahead. And then we're turning to the corner here, just braking slightly, getting onto the apex, and then you just wait for the front to bite. So you can feel, especially with the G27, with the force feedback, you feel that the nose start to turn in, and then as the nose kind of gains that grip, that's when you plant the throttle and start powering out. But as you can see here, I slapped the wall a little bit, not too hard, not enough to damage the car, but it slowed me down enough to let a couple of cars get past. And then I spent a few laps kind of fighting my way back to the front. Now this, yeah, this race is my first win, so there you go, a bit of a spoiler there, so you know how it's going to end. But it's interesting how we'll get there, you know. Now, in this race, one of the biggest problems is back markers. Because it's such a small track, and because it's so complex, in rookies, you know, there's a lot of people having accidents, a lot of people getting in the way, and a lot of people for some reason just seem to want to race, you know, well race the people who are lapping them, should I say, because of course everybody's there to race, it's a race. So as you can see here, there's just a couple of people having an accident, so, you know, kind of coming off the power, braking slightly to work our way around them, and it causes everybody to have a bit of a scramble. So, you know, we're just kind of doing our laps here, kind of finding a groove, and, you know, the tyres are starting to get a bit warmer now, and the car's getting grip, so I'm able to kind of drive off the corners a lot better. So yeah, as I was saying, you know, the back markers, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, guy having a bit of an accident there, so managed to avoid him as well, which is cool. In the bottom right hand corner you've got the box there that says relative. Now, in iRacing it's known as the black box, and there's several things you can show it there. You can show it your position in a race, relative, that I've got shown there. You could show fuel and tyre information like temperatures and things like that, so it's a really handy little box. Now, I'd encourage anybody that races in iRacing to keep that on relative when they're racing, because what it does is that it shows your position amongst all of the people around you, and it's color coded, so people who are white are on the same lap as you, and they're the people that you're racing against. People in blue are people that you're coming up to lap, and people in red are people who are coming to lap you. So if you see something red coming up behind you very quickly, it's normally a very good idea to get out the way and let them through so they can continue their race. If you're being lapped, you're obviously not doing very well, so it's, you know, it's a good idea, you know, it's a courtesy to let people through who are lapping you. Now, the flags in rookies are kind of very dumbed down. In the more professional series you get more cautions, you get blue flags, things like that. So In this series, in rookies, you don't really get blue flags. You don't get people kind of telling you, look, you need to move over and let this guy through. So, as a courtesy, you know, it is good to bring up that relative box and you know, keep an eye on that and see how people are going around. And even if you're leading a race, you know, if you're doing well in a race, then it's good to have it up, because then you can see how quickly you're coming up on back markers and things like that. So as you can see, that the number 12 car there, I think there's the black and white stripy one, he's staying high in the corners, or number 13, there we go. So he's staying high in the corners and letting the leaders through, which is in a way kind of what you want. Now on a course as tight as this, you can't expect him to be out of the way all the time. So on the straights there, he's staying to the outside. He's blocking a little bit, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter that much. But on the corners, he's staying high, he's letting the leaders through, which is a really good thing to do, you know. So it's good to get on the radio there and say, hey, you know, thanks for getting out of the way. So as you can see, that the red car there, he got a bit deep into the corner and went wide, so I managed to pass him. So this puts me back into second. And again, I'm racing behind a guy here called Mike. I'd raced with him in a previous race. And we'd done kind of okay together, so I was just kind of idly chatting to him as I was kind of doing my laps here. And this is a fairly kind of longish race. It's 40 laps, but it's only 25-second laps, so you know, it's only about 20 minutes in duration from start to finish anyway. So you know, it's about the same as doing 20 laps on Charlotte, except the laps are that short. But it is an interesting race, you know, and you need to be switched on the whole time, looking for your braking zones, your turning zones, your accelerating zones. So if we just look at a lap that, so we're coming over over the start finish point there, and then the tip to this track, or the only tip I can give it, is just look for your braking zones. So as we're coming along the straight here, there's like a little shadow there, so that shadow next to traffic light, that's where I start coming on the brakes. I'm not slamming on the brakes, I'm not going to full brakes, I'm just kind of easing about quarter to less than half brakes, so I'm kind of easing into the corner. I'm not stabbing the brakes, because if you go too heavy on the brakes, it causes the car to unsettle, and then you find that the back end will step out and the car's uneasy through the corners, and then when you come on the power, the car's even more uneasy, and it just unbalances. So just by being smooth on the brakes and then smooth on the power on the way out, you know, you manage to kind of get a really good lap time there. So on this corner again, just looking for the shadows of the end of the wall. There's like a split in the wall on the right hand side. Just as you're passing that point, you just start easing on the brakes into the corner, and then again powering out when you're about 3/4 of the way around the corner. And it's, you know, it's a really good track to kind of get into a groove on. And again, looking ahead for all of the back markers who are deciding to have accidents and falling off the track around you. So I mean, the only other tip I can give there as well, and it's a really good tip for rookies, is, you know, keep an eye ahead. You know, look at people who are about to have an accident, and then take necessary action. You know, just start slowing down. You know, give yourself that bit of time to react and move the car around. You know, and I watched a video on YouTube recently. I forget the guy that did it, but it really kind of opened my eyes to racing and rookies in iRacing. And it was he had a video of an accident, and there was two cars, a yellow car and a red car. The yellow car kind of spun out, got out of shape, and then got crashed into by the red car. Now when you initially see it, you're like, yeah, you know, that's the yellow's car fault. He had an accident and he collected the red car. But the whole video was about how it was the red car's fault because he did nothing to avoid the accident that was happening in front of him. And you know, after I watched that video, it just kind of all started clicking. It all made sense to me. And if I can find it, I'll put the link in the description below. But it really kind of opened my eyes to oval racing, and it's just a case of, you know, you need to have your eyes open, and yes, people are going to have accidents in front of you, and you know, you can't expect them to get out of your way. You need to get out of their way if you're going to succeed and if you're going to have a safe race. And since I've kind of taken on that philosophy, I've found that my safety rating shot up, and this is actually the last race in rookies that I do. So you know, like I said, I win this race. This is my my very first win. But after this, I also earned my D license. So I've not done any more racing since this. This is the last racing I've done up to the point where I'm recording this. But I'm looking actually into getting into a NASCAR series. I'm thinking about getting into NASCAR Nationals in oval racing, so I might be bringing up some more videos including that in the near future. Now as we're racing around here, you can see there's a car flicking in and out like crazy in front of me, and he was causing me a bit of concern because you know, he's obviously having some kind of network issues, things like that. He's fading in and out, but when he's fade out, I have no idea where he's going to pop back in. So, you know, I was scared to get really close to him or to push up to him because, you know, I was afraid he's going to pop out and then pop in right in front of me or right next to me and cause me to have an accident, like, you know. So again, you know, I was just staying behind him for a few laps here, just waiting for an opportunity to kind of safely get past him. And again, taking kind of wider lines through the corners here just to kind of stay back a bit, you know, and try and stay safe, because the last thing you want to do is get collected by someone who's glitching. And I think through one of these corners, it might be this one on the next one, he does go awfully wide through the corner, and it gives me something of an opportunity to get past him. But yeah, you know, it's you just see him popping about there. It's like he's got hydraulic springs or something. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, as you can see there, he's kind of so close to nearly ramming into me, so I have to get off the gas and move across the track to avoid getting spun out. But again, you know, I got onto the radio and I was like, look, and you're glitching, you know, you need to do something about this. But he just stayed in it, and he actually kind of, you know, he moves over there, so that's right, you know, I managed to get past him. But I think it's within a couple of laps he kind of pops out and then he appears right in front of me again. I'm just like, holy shit, where did he come from? You know, it's just one of these mental netcode bugs. But you know, everybody else on the racetrack seemed to be absolutely solid, and you know, it's very rare that you see kind of pop-ins and pop-outs that bad. And there's that yellow car ahead there moving across to let the leader through at this point. And it's nice when people do that, you know, that they have that relative box up so they know who's coming up on them and then they move over. But as I come behind him, he kind of closes the door, and then it takes me a good few laps in order to actually kind of get past him. And I even get on the radio at one point and just say, look, you know, number 12, can you let me past? And then he does actually kind of he does the decent thing and moves over and lets me through, like, you know. So I guess he must have realised at that point that actually kind of, you know, someone's coming around to lap him. So yeah, you can see it there again. There he is, that orange car that was blinking in and out. He's just kind of in front of us again. So whether he'd had an accident and we'd come around to lap him again, I don't know. But it was very random. So this is me kind of trying to get past this 12 car, but you know, he was just kind of, I suppose, more concerned with doing his own thing. So you know, it took me a little while to kind of get behind him, but I didn't want to press it into the corners and kind of come up on him too close and then get taken out, you know. So it's all about kind of maintaining that aspect of safety when doing laps, so that you don't end up getting destroyed unnecessarily by a back marker. So again, just maintaining my cornering here and just, you know, getting into that rhythm now. As you start getting into laps kind of 25 through 30 on this, your tyres do start wearing out a little bit, and you feel that in the car. And it's something I love about iRacing is the tyre degradation. You know, as you're going through these laps, that you feel the car just starts getting looser. It doesn't turn in as tight, you know, it doesn't bite so hard. So you know, you need to be so much more gentle, kind of getting on the gas and getting on the brakes, you know, because the car's kind of way more ready to spin out on you. So again, I've closed right up to 12 here and just trying to kind of get on the inside line, get past him, but he's maintaining the racing line, so he's coming off the corners faster than what I am. But I am going faster through the corner than he is, because I'm taking a tighter line. So I think it's within the next lap or so I actually got on radio and say, look man, you need to let me through here. In fact, yeah, that's me there on the radio going, look man, just let me through. And then sure enough, he moves over, lets off the gas, and I managed to get through him. So, you know, I actually got back on and said, look, thanks man, you know, it's you know, it's about time. But yeah, so now, you know, the leader's pulled a way ahead. You know, he's a good couple of seconds ahead of me there, and I'm just kind of trying to get back into the groove and catch up to them. In fact, no, I just realised something. Actually, I am in number 1 at this point. So the leader, that Mike Chalk, he got involved in an accident earlier on. I must have missed that while I was rambling away here, but there was a slow car on the outside, and I actually got onto radio and says, look out man, there's a car slow ahead. So I came off the power, moved across to the left hand side, and he just stayed in it and went straight into him. So but that's him. He's just caught up into second place there. So yeah, this is me now in the lead, going around the track. So again, just trying to get into some steady laps, kind of for the last 5-6 laps here. And again, you know, the front tyres started getting very greasy at this point. You know, they've kind of melted down to next to nothing. So you know, turning into the corner, you know, you feel the car just doesn't quite have the grip that it did before. So, you know, I think a couple of times the back end starts getting a bit twitchy under power. And then I find myself just kind of taking it a bit more easy going through the corners, and you know, you take the lines just a little bit more slower in order to stay tighter in. But which again is something that's good, you know, because you have to adapt to the condition of the car through the racing. So only a handful of laps left to go. I think that's 37 out of 40 there. The number 9 car there just getting a little bit wide, so I'd take the opportunity to dive up his inside into the next corner, and kind of there hoping and praying to God that he doesn't come back down on me in the corner. That's me getting on the radio there, just saying thanks, you know, for letting me through safely. Now, you know, when I looked at the race stats after this, just because of the groove I'd kind of got into, my average lap times turned out at about 25. I think it was about a 25.2, 25.3 was my average lap time. And the next guy's lap time was about 26.7, 26.8. I'd have to double check that, but yeah, I mean, through this I was nearly a full second a lap faster than the next guy, which was quite surprising actually, you know. But again, you know, I managed to get the win, and you know, I managed to advance out of the rookie series in oval racing for this. So all I've got to do now is just work on the road racing, you know, the Mazda series. So last lap here, just going around, got the white flag. One more corner to go. And there we go, that's my first win across the line. So yeah, something a bit different, you know, and it was a hell of an experience, you know, kind of leading like that on this track. I'd only raced the track a couple of times, so managing to come out on top was quite a good buzz, you know, and it definitely gives you a bit of a drive. So I kind of hope you enjoyed this video, a bit of a different format than the previous ones, and I'll definitely have more content coming up soon. Hopefully a video of a win or advancement through the MX5 Cup, and hopefully a participation in in the National NASCAR Series or something like that. I'll see what series I can get into next. So again, this is Smudge saying I hope that you enjoyed this, and thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.